All right. Well, as the title says, we're moving. We're moving.
Moving. Not yet. We want to move.
Not yet. We're trying to move, but we're not trying to move from Paris.
No.
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 Jamais. Never. So we've actually been in this process for about a month now.
Longer.
The searching process, a little longer than a month. But we finally caved in and decided to hire a house hunter or apartment hunter, as it were, since we're searching for an apartment. And today we have our first visit to an apartment with them. So we're very excited to see how this goes, to meet the hunter in person, have a little meeting with them afterwards. The agency that we're using is called Cocoon, Kokoon. And it's not a cheap service, but at the same time, we have quite the wish list. And we're both auto-entrepreneur or self-employed in France, which is not very good at all when looking for an apartment. So the cards are stacked against us from the start versus those with contract jobs and everything. And we can get into that later on, or you can ask about it in the comments and we'll try to fill you in there. But like I said, excited to get this process started, see how the house hunters go. It started off a little rocky. When I first inquired with them, they were calling quite regularly to try to get us to sign. Full disclosure, I'll just say it's normally about €1,800 for their service. Then they were running a €200 off sale, so €1,600, and they were consistently calling me at least once a week. We finally caved, went ahead, filled out the contract, and then it was kind of radio silence. So I made sure to pay with my American Express just in case there were any issues and it was some kind of scam, but I'd done my research and it seemed to be pretty legit. So they finally called us back. We got the application process started. Once we finally got their application and everything filled out, approved on their end, they then said, we're going to start the matching process and put you with one of our house hunters. And they said that takes about 24 to 48 hours. Well, a week and a half, I forget what it was.
Right at a week.
Okay.
Right at a week. But we were going right into a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
In May, you can have 5 or 6 holidays in France. So we were also uphill battle against a holiday weekend and then another holiday, I think, at the end of the week. And we have a perfect wish list that we are wanting. You haven't mentioned what their guarantee is and like how fast.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is their explanation was that it was the holiday weekend and everything, and that kind of delayed the process a little bit. The French love their holidays, which I cannot blame them. I'm definitely assimilating to that nature of the French. But my theory was that our wish list is just basically describing the perfect apartment in the perfect location, but like €400 than what it should be, of course, because you always want to aim high, right? So I think our list is just so outrageously perfect and almost impossible to find that all the house hunters looked at it and said, F that, I ain't taking it. Because this agency has a guarantee, which is one of the main things that sold us on it. And that is typically within 15 days, they have you signing a lease for your dream apartment. And then a 95% success rate within the first 30 days. And they said, worst case scenario, if you're in the 5%, it just takes longer than 30 days, but we continue on until the job is fulfilled. If you cancel within the first 25 to 30 days, you only pay a 20% handling fee, so we're only out like $300, which to us on a really serious date night, that's a nice dinner. So I'm like, okay, well, if we'd invest that in an anniversary dinner or something, why not invest it in finding the perfect house or apartment that we're going to be in for probably 5 to 6 years? Because the first apartment was 3 years. This apartment has been 3 years. So now it's time to find a more permanent place. So
it's time to go.
Yes. Real quick, and full disclosure about this apartment before we get there in front of the house hunter. This one, it gets close to fitting the bill. I would want to say it's 70%, but one of the big things is it does not have a bathtub, which is becoming more and more of a huge thing. As I'm training for my big bike race, I'm finding myself soaking more in hot baths, cold baths, and everything. And so this does not have a bathtub, but it does have an amazing terrace based on the photos. So that's a plus, and it's very big. Location is on the back side of the Champ de Mars, so close to the Eiffel Tower, where we photograph a lot of you lovely people. So we'll see. We're going to see how the house hunter goes, how it interacts, or how he interacts with us and with the agent.
We have about 10 items probably on our wish list. I'll have to share that later so you know what we're looking for when we go in these places.
Yeah.
Wish us luck!
So, we shall see. Let's go.
Let's go.
On y va.
Not you, Poppy.
So this was the online listing that our agent shared with us. Had quite a few pictures and everything, gave us a really good first impression. So we were excited to go and see this one. And from the looks of it, the terrace looked really big, but they did not have a bathtub, so we were a little bit concerned about that. So here we go. First impression, the building was a little nondescript and, as far as Paris goes. So we would prefer a much more Parisian neighborhood, Haussmann buildings and so forth. And the first impression was really good. Very big open space, nice parquet floors, not quite the classic chevron or herringbone pattern of Paris, but man, the terrace, holy cow. And this is only one side of it. The view, again, not the prettiest, but way out in the distance there, you can see Sacré-Cœur and Montmartre. So I suppose if you're sitting out there having champagne with binoculars, it's great. But you can see it completely wraps around to the other side. So we could have, do a home gym out there. Could do a whole garden. You can have a party with 50 of your favorite Parisians. But again, the building there is just not the Parisian look that we're after. Going back in, we're going to explore the rest of the place here. So next we stop into the kitchen, which is my home. It's got good opening space to put in ovens or dishwashers or other stuff. Not a lot of space for a fridge, and one is not included, so we'd have to purchase that. The famous Parisian toilet rooms, because they're separate from the bathrooms. And here is the actual bathroom. Again, the bath situation leaves a lot to be desired, shall we say. And bedroom number one, a bit narrow for what we're looking for, and small window. Our last bedroom had floor-to-ceiling doors going out to the terrace, but this one had that little surprise. So again, if you just hang out with your head hanging out of the window, then it's a great view. But otherwise, she's kind of hidden. The windows were double insulated, so that's a bonus. Lots of closet space built in, so that's cool as well. Wouldn't necessarily have to move our large IKEA wardrobes. And what we believe would be the master does have the more floor-to-ceiling doors out to the terrace. Good storage space in here as well. Does that look mean we like it? What does that look mean? And just 2 blocks away, we enter the Parisian theater landscape that we so long for. All right. Well, news is as expected. Apartment was not a yes for all the reasons that we thought. The terrace was just as impressive as it was in the photos, maybe even more.
Huge.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was absolutely, and the view wasn't terrible, but it certainly wasn't Parisian. It wasn't what I call the cinematic Parisian view that we have from here.
The view wasn't great.
And you saw in the video of the clips that we just showed you of the place that if you stuck your head out of the bedroom window, you see the Eiffel Tower, which seems to be the story of our apartment hunt.
Or from the staircase, a very great view. If you just wanted to sit on the staircase and work from my laptop there, I'd have a full view of the tower.
The view's always the wrong spot at these apartments that we're looking at, and the view from this one has a chimney in the way. So, Cocoon, what did we think about it? So we got to finally meet our house hunter. His name is Tony. He was 3 minutes late, but I'm not going to hold that against him. Maybe just a little. He was cool. He did not speak nearly as much English as I thought he might, if any. And for all you trolls who want to jump in the comments and say, you're in France, dumbass. Yes, I realize what country we're in. That being said, I assumed that this company or agency might be more geared to expats and not French people trying to find homes. Because I assume that the French are a little bit more well-versed at this, are more likely to have a contract job, and can communicate more easily than we could. But everything else went pretty smoothly. He did a lot of talking with the agent showing the place and everything. Chatted with us after about what we really wanted a little bit more, so he has a better guide or direction of where to go. So
to clarify, it seemed like we were understanding each other fine, but he was speaking in French and we were predominantly speaking in English just to make sure in English we were conveying our thoughts right, much less trying to wing it in French. But
yeah,
I think we were on the same page.
Yeah. So the one thing that we didn't show completely in the video, which you will have just seen in the walkthroughs and everything, is we got out of the metro. Everything was beautiful. Everything was very Parisian, kind of what we're used to over here. There was Rue du Commerce, so there was lots of commerce and shops and everything. A little cobblestone street.
Couple cute cafes.
Yeah, restaurants and everything.
A donut shop!
Amazing donut shop. But the second we crossed the street, as we got right by the place, it literally was like you were leaving a movie set and going to the backstage or something. Yeah. It just completely changed, and not for the better. So that was disappointing, and that's, we're not looking to live in the most luxurious neighborhood, but like if you could walk this street with us, you would know exactly what we're talking about. So that being said, the hunt continues. Hopefully we're not like our friends who had to see 40 plus units before finding theirs. But this was the start of the house hunting experience with Cocoon, with Tony. So we hope to, I don't know, I'm torn. Like, it's fun and exciting to go and see places, but at the same time, I'm also ready to find the place. So it's, how many cars do you want to test drive before you say, yeah, this is the one?
I think I'm more patient. I want the one.
I want the one as well. I think you want it for like €300 less than what it really is.
Nope. It's out there because we saw it. We just didn't get it.
We shall see. All right. Well, till the next house hunt, or the next, what would you say?
It's a house hunt. It's our home. Home hunt, right. House hunt, maison, chez Guise.
All right. All of that. Till the next time. A bientôt.
A bientôt. Bisous.
So I gotta figure out how to really like change my mindset about the apartment and be more positive and like really put it into the universe that it is out there, like you say, for the price point and all the things that we want. Because like everything else that we're working on, business and personal life and professional, all that, like that's definitely there. Like I've got the positive mindset and it's actually happening. Like all those things are coming to fruition that I'm like putting into the universe. But for some reason, I guess because I'm dealing with the facts of having looked on the app for the last 2 months and not really seeing anything that comes up that fits, like so few apartments come available in the area that we're looking for, the price point that we're looking at. Like if it was €2,700, if that was our price point, there's like 10, so it's like I'm struggling with looking at the facts or the history of the facts, for the last 2 months versus that one unicorn that we've seen so far. Like I'm having a hard time flipping the mental script in my head that the unicorn is out there. So how do you do that?
Well, one, you just have to be patient and wait. We don't have to move. So we have time to let the unicorn appear again. And the unicorn will appear again. It might be like rainbows, where
right,
it
but
doesn't come every day.
How do I put it in my head to be more positive and believe that while fighting the history of 2 months of nothing?
Because you're really good at doing that with everything else, so just believe it.
Right, but like the stuff with the business, it's like we're creating it and just like...
But both our places we've lived in here have been above average. They've been great. This place is great. We wouldn't be moving if it had one more bedroom.
Right. And I mean, maybe I'm just spoiled because the first place we just walked into with Stacy, we just took over her lease. Mm-hmm. And then this place, we looked at 7, 8 max?
Max.
Yeah, if that many.
And this is only like 5, so maybe in 3 more we'll have our place. And working with Cocoon, we have that on our side, hopefully, so.
I guess it's also the fact that it's, how like, when you're quitting a job, before you put your 2 weeks notice in and you're quitting, you get that 1 foot out the door syndrome. And it's like, I got 1.5 feet out the door, ready to step onto the next terrace.
Yeah.
So
Please
it's
still
like
let me come
fighting
home
the
and you
odds.
have the shelving down. Okay, we're not there yet.
Well, I thought about doing that to really put it into the universe.
You already started spackling.
Right? That's the other thing. Like, I want to, like, how much can I do to put it in the universe without, like, fucking things up and be like, okay, I've packed up half the apartment, dear.
No.
Yeah.
No, because I'm not living in
Right.
boxes till next spring if this doesn't work out by,
I
August.
know. Like, I really thought about taking all the green shit and the pictures off the wall and filling the holes and be like, all right, universe, we're ready.
Except then we'll be looking at the back of our closets. No.
Okay, so you can't
No.
go that far with the universe?
Tell him no, puppy.
No.
I gotta take puppy out.
Okay.
You going with us?
Yes.
Buy chips?
Yes.